Okay, this is phase 3, Friday. We're gonna start with glute swings. Glute swings, you're gonna lay down on the bench, you bend your knees, you're gonna bring your top leg off your other knee. And think about keeping your knee in the same spot, but moving your heel up, moving your heel down. So you're gonna just rotate at your hip, keep that knee in the same spot. Try to get that full, as big a range of motion in that heel as you can. You're starting to feel that in your butt. Still do 20 on one leg, then go ahead and flip over and do 20 on the other. Again, knee in the same spot, trying to get range of motion with your heel. So then, once you're done with that, the other side, then go ahead and just flip over and do your first side. That'll be enough for your rest interval. Next, we have the 90-degree iso squat. When we do the 90-degree iso squat, you've done the single leg iso squat. Now, all we're going to do is put you in a squat technique and have you do the same thing. Push against a lot of weight so you can't move it. So the amount of weight, first and foremost, you want to decide where you want to put the bar. We want to be in a position where you're either parallel or just a hair above parallel. We want you to be able to apply a lot of force to the ground and to the bar. So when you're doing this, you're going to squat, you're going to act like you're going to try to lift this. The biggest mistake I see athletes make is when they get under the bar, instead of having their feet underneath them, they start to get their feet out here because they know the bar's not going anywhere. I want the feet underneath you just like you are, just like they are when you're playing. So the 90-degree iso squat, you're going to go 3 reps of this, 5 on, 5 off. It says in parentheses. So 5 seconds on, you're trying to drive as hard as you can into that bar, and then take your 3 seconds off. So I'm going to load under here. Drive as hard as I can for 5. Keeping that good posture here, good technique. Rest for 3. Then back on for 5. I think it's easier to have somebody do the counting for you. Usually when you're going, you have a tendency of speeding up your 5 seconds. So have somebody go or have a clock down between your legs so you can read it. But we want that a true 5 seconds and then a 5-second break. Next, we have front squat. Now again, we're lowering the reps even more down to 2s. So again, like I mentioned throughout this workout, through all the different phases, we never sacrifice our technique for the weight. So if your technique isn't very good and you're still learning and trying to figure everything out, stay light and, like I told you before, dominate your technique. So we're going to do 4x2 here. Again, the front squat. Roll your shoulders forward. Have your good base. Big butt, big chest, flat back. Sit your hips down and back. All the way up. All the way down. All the way up. Then rack it. Then you have your 2 squat jumps. So again, in real time, I get off the bar. I get done with my front squat. I rack it. Step back. Do my 2 squat jumps. Then I take my rest. Then repeat. Next one we have dumbbell one-legged squats. Again, now you're on your 2 each leg, so you're dealing with heavier weight, but again, you're not sacrificing your technique. You're going to superset this with one-legged squat jump. So you're going to do your 2 on each leg. So let's pretend this is my second leg. 1, 2. Drop the weights, make sure they're out of my way. 1, 2. Other leg. 1, 2. Then I take my break. But again, always try to explode from that low position when I have the weights and when I'm doing my jumps. But make sure you set the weights out of the way so they're not by your feet. Next one we have is our groin squeezes. Again, big ball. Big range of motion. Keep the ball down on our crotch. Squeeze for 5. Rest for 5. Squeeze for 5. Rest for 5. You'll do that 8 times with 90-second break. Then the last one here on Friday's workout is dumbbell opposite arm, opposite leg stiffies. Phase 2, we held both arms Now we're gonna hold one. We're gonna do a lot of balancing here because of the one leg, and then our core has to stabilize because we're working across our body. So it'll say opposite. So what opposite means is you're gonna hold the opposite leg that's on the ground. My right leg on the ground, I'm gonna hold left leg, so my core has to stabilize what I'm doing. Again, we talked about it before, let your body become a teeter-totter. Big chest, roll your shoulders back. As I come down here, I'm gonna find one spot and focus on it. That'll help my balance. Come down as far as I can, should feel that in my hamstring. I'm not bending at my hips, I'm staying nice and strong throughout. Back up. We'll do them all on one leg, and we'll switch other leg. Again, find that one spot, focus on it, and don't sacrifice that technique to get deeper. Okay, I'm flexible. Again, that's not an issue for me, but when I do this, I don't get down very far. Okay, I'm keeping that nice big chest here. The biggest mistake athletes make is they start rolling over, either at the hips or at the shoulders to try to gain depth. If you're feeling it, if you're feeling your hamstrings fire up, you've got enough. Then go ahead and come back. Okay, if you're able to get deeper with perfect technique, then do it. But you'll know as you come down when it's time to stop. And that's the last thing in Friday Phase 3.